I have John Saltness here. Today he's going to share a little bit of his story. And so, John, what do you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What do you do?
My name's John Saltness. I'm retired for 4 years from Esler Laboratories of America. It's the largest optical company in the world. My job was to call on small optometric practices in northern Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Tell us a little bit about your religious background. What was it like growing up?
Barb and I shared a very similar background. We both grew up in Catholic homes, and then we moved to Unalaska after we got married. And frankly, we stepped away from the Catholic Church at that point, not casting any aspersions on the Catholic faith. Regretfully, we didn't expose them to multiple for them to make a choice. We just didn't. I believe we furnished a spiritual family, but we didn't do any organized religion at all. And until Valley Brook, I did nothing in between that. Barb prayed, Barb read the Bible, I did not.
So how did you find Valley Brook then?
We found Valley Brook through our kids, through Angie and Jake and Mary Beth. Angie was living in Milwaukee. She found her faith, and she decided that she wanted to move back to the Eau Claire area. And unbeknownst to us, she and Jake and Angie started looking, and they did a pretty arduous search of the churches in this area. And we could not be more blessed that they chose Valley Brook. At the beginning, Barb and I would come to see the grandkids, and we would come every other week, and we enjoyed it, but that was frankly at the beginning. We enjoyed the worship group. Valley Brook has a great worship group, and we would listen to your sermon and Pastor Nate's sermon, and on the way home we would talk about it, and it just put little snippets of and then when Angie moved back, then it became full blown for us. We came every week, and then my journey then started at that point.
Tell us, what is that like to worship with your kids and your grandkids?
Well, when you heard of going through our family, there's 9 of us, which in Valley Brook means it's one complete row.
Yeah, you take up a whole row.
We take a row, yes. And we call it the Saltness Cooper row. We don't expect the same row each time, and we're okay if we don't but we're a little discombobulated when we don't get to sit together. The first step for me in my faith experience at Valley Brook was I had a friend that gave me a book that allowed me to believe that the Bible was real. That was the first step. I wanted to believe, but I needed some background for it, and this was a very logical, almost mathematical way to look at the Bible. I wanted to believe. Halfway through the book, I put the book down and I gave myself to God. I knew it just needed not an excuse, but a prompt. And from that point, I've just been totally invested and glean as much as I can from His Word and from the Valley Brook community.
So tell us, what are some ways that you've seen God working in your life then, since that conversion?
I think I'm calmer. I'm more optimistic about life. My judgment of other people, I think God's Word has taught me that I don't judge. I'm not supposed to judge. And I think that's given me a calmness. I've met people that I would never have met if I'd have kept with my judgments.
Yeah.
Just would like to give a shout out to Elder Bill and the Tuesday morning 6 o'clock Bible study. I have seen true courage and seen despair and stories of these men that I was never exposed to, and the faith that they've taught me has been extraordinary and very valuable to me. And I've seen grace in action multiple times, it really taught me the lessons of the Word has come from those men on Tuesday mornings.
Thanks for sharing today about your story. It's non-traditional. Typically, it's the parents leading the kids to church, and in your in Barb's case, your kids brought you to church, and as a result, you've seen this life-changing love of God. And so, thanks for sharing today, John.